Next up, let's talk about power supplies. I already mentioned that a very useful power supply, especially if you're working with a breadboard like this, is the breadboard power supply. It just plugs right there, provides you with nice clean 5 or 3.3 volt power. If you want, however, to have an alternative power supply for the Arduino itself and not rely on the USB power that you get from a computer, then you need an external power supply. And a couple of options that are readily available and cheap are these. First, you can look around your drawers to look for old unused power supplies from electronics that you're no longer used. So this is one example that I found from an old Linksys router. Anything that provides power above 7 volts, perhaps up to 12 volts are really good. You should put aside in case you need to use them with your Arduino. So all you've got to do, apart from the voltage, is to make sure that the connector works. So we've got a 5mm connector. You plug that in there and you've got power. So let's see if that works actually. I'm going to plug that into my power board and the other end into my Arduino. And you can see we've got power. It works, and I've got the blinking LED sketch running so I can verify that the Arduino is actually working. Great. So no computer attached. That's what you want once you program your Arduino and you've got it connected to all the external circuitry and you just wanted to make it independent from your computer at this point. If you don't have access to a wall power socket where you'd like to put your Arduino project eventually, then another alternative would be to use battery power. There's many different types of power packs for the Arduino. The requirements again are that the power supply can provide a little bit more than 7 volts of differential at least, maybe up to 12 volts, but no more than 12 volts as far as a battery is concerned, because you want to minimize waste, and that there is a battle connector as well, just like with a power supply. In this case, I've got a total of 9 volts on this battery pack that is made up of 6 1.5 volt AA batteries. So I'll just plug that in here, and again you can see that the Arduino is working just fine and the LED there is blinking. The Arduino is very versatile in terms of the power that it can work with. I already mentioned in the previous section that you can plug power supplies that provide anywhere from 7 all the way up to 17 volts and the Arduino will still work. But in order to not strain the electronics on the board and to make sure that the Arduino works at its optimal level, we are looking for power supplies between 7 and 12 volt maximum. Let's move on to the multimeter next.